Welcome back everybody to another Versus video. I've discussed movies in the past where I've kind of compared the remake to the original, like Annie and Ben-Hur and Pete's Dragon. And today we're going to talk about Beauty and the Beast, the 1991 animated Disney classic, with the new 2017 Beauty and the Beast, the live adaptation. Both I think are very enjoyable films. Some things I like about one of them, some things I like more about the other. And just like previous Versus series, I'm going to talk about certain things that I like and dislike about each film, and at the end I'm going to tell you which one I would rather watch if someone asked me, hey Justin, what one would you rather watch? This one or this one? I'm gonna let you know. So first thing I want to talk about is the relationship between Belle and the Beast. Both movies did an excellent job at developing this relationship. In the 1991 animated classic, Beast is very angry. He's mad at a lot of things, and you really get a hint of depression from him as well. He's very secluded, isolated, and when they introduce Belle, he's still very angry but curious as well. He hasn't seen like a human being in a long time, and so when Belle and Beast start to develop this relationship and the progression and watching him turn from someone who's really angry and hinting at, you know, caring and being kind and him trying, it's romantic. It's very sweet. And I think that the animated classic did a great job at progressing and developing this relationship by starting him off being very angry and then her being very mad at him for a lot of things that he's done. And then as they really understand each other and their love of books and reading, and him and her trying to teach him to be compassionate and eat and be gentlemen, and it is a very kind and romancing relationship. And I think that the 1991 film did a better job at developing that relationship. Now, I'm not saying that the 2017 did a great job as well, but I feel like, you know, it being lengthier, that other characters did get some screen time, like Gaston and LeFou and the dad and all the other objects, and they didn't have the best chance of developing that relationship. Because in the beginning of the film, he is more of an adult when he becomes the Beast instead of like a teenager child. And so he's grown up and he has all these memories of when he was an adult and how he became a beast. And so when they introduce him, he's really not that angry. I mean, he does, you know, have prisoners. And so there's like that, you know, part of him. But he's not like yelling at everybody and throwing things off to the side. And it's much more of like depression and loneliness for this Beast. And when they do have that song of feeling that there's something in you that wasn't there before, sang by Mrs. Potts, it is very sweet, just like the original, but I don't feel that impact because as the Beast was much more angrier, and when he transitioned, it was very sweet. Here, it is sweet, but the transition isn't just as impactful. But in the end, it is very sweet. But getting there is just not as great as the animated one. So the relationship between Belle and Beast, definitely the 1991 animated classic. There are things that they did improve upon with the 2017 film, and that is definitely making the Beast feel like a human. They had a new song in there talking about how Belle will always be in his heart and he'll see her wherever he goes. I think that scene did really prove upon the fact that he once was a human. He's got feelings, he's got emotions, all those things. So I did like how the new one did improve upon certain sequences. Now I'm going to talk about the musical numbers. The new movie had all the songs from the 1991 classic, with addition to songs by her father and more of Gaston and another song from the Beast. And so it has all the same songs. So songs that I really enjoyed listening to as a kid, even though I didn't really watch the movie, was Be Our Guest and A Tale as Old as Time and the Bonjour song in the beginning. They have all that. And the animated classic, especially the Be Our Guest, had this sense of fantasy to it. And you can't help but have that sense of fantasy when it's a movie about a talking clock and a candle and, you know, and teacups and just different things around the house. It has that sense of whimsical and fantasy to it that I just really was attached to. And in the 2017 one, it just seems very realistic, and I do appreciate that. But when it's a movie about love and a big beast and talking objects, you gotta have that fantasy feel to it. And I do think that the songs, especially Be Our Guest, was just way more grand. It was like on a much more bigger scale. I mean, it is drawing, and they could probably do a lot more, but the 2017 one it felt kind of like watered down. It was very exciting, but it just wasn't grand as I was expecting it to be. I really did enjoy the song and the voice in there as well. It's all really great, but on the aspect of it being big and poppy and flashy, I do think that the 1991 film did a much better job at, making it big and flashy. It's a big musical number, even though the new one was kind of dark. They did have some colorful moments in there, but like all the musical numbers just added a lot to the storyline in the 91 film, and it just like impacted a lot of the characters and the story. Now the new one, Beauty and the Beast 2017, did take a lot of things and just brought them to life and just made it pop in. It was so pretty, especially the costume designs and the set locations. It really expanded that universe, that town that Belle lived in, and the castle. Oh my gosh, it was epic, it was pretty. So I really did like the set design in here. I did love the costumes. It was sweeping, it was beautiful, it was epic. I did like a lot of those sequences where they were showcasing different dresses for Belle or touring the castle. We got to see a lot of things that we didn't see in the original. So I definitely like the look of the town and the castle and the costumes a lot more in the 2017 version. Now Gaston and LeFou, both in the movies are really great. Both are like bumbling idiots. But, with the 2017 film, they added a lot to the characters, and it made Gaston seem more like a villain in this one. And I did like LeFou in here, 2017 one, much more, because he got much more screen time and he was funny. He was a very interesting character. He had a lot of like charm to the movie, a lot of personality to it. I really liked Gaston and LeFou in the 2017 one. I think it was due to the fact that they did get a lot more screen time, and they were pretty much the same that they were in the 91 film, but with a lot more screen time, you got to understand them a lot more and you got to see more of them. And even though that Gaston is like a villain and wants to murder people, I just enjoyed their scenes. For a movie that is about love and learning to love someone, the 91 film is way better than the 2017 film. Watching the film a couple of weeks ago before this, I felt that love in that movie. I just felt that relationship, that connection between Belle and Beast, and they had to work towards it. They had to develop it. It didn't just start right from the get-go. They had to build it up, and they built it up so perfectly. They developed it so well. You just felt that love from Belle and the Beast at certain parts of the film. And even though I did feel that love in the 2017 one, I felt the love was much more stronger. And this being a love story, and if someone had to ask me, Justin, which one would you rather watch, the 91 film or the 2017 one? I'm going to choose the 91 film, just for the fact that it develops the relationship a lot more. It is beautiful, it is sweet, it is caring, it's compassionate. I like the development of Beast and how he's really angry with things, and then he just, things click and he realizes that he really cares for Belle and she cares for him as well, and it ends in a very touching moment. So I do think that the 91 film is better, but I do think that the 2017 film is very impressive as well. I love the CGI, I love the new songs, the costume designs, a lot of things they added in the film I thought were really great. But the 91 film, for me, is the better pick between the two. So thank you guys for watching this versus video for the Beauty and the Beast, the 91 film versus the 2017 film. I got a couple other ones coming out this month. I'm going to compare the Power Rangers movies, the Mighty Morphin one and the new one, and the animated Ghost in the Shell and the new Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell as well. Thank you guys for watching. As always, you guys are the best. This is Justin Watches Movies, and you stay classy, YouTube.